okay, you can contact to Rizka. So this is the number, or you can check to our Instagram. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. It's always like this. The last page is our sponsor is Perpustakaan Dikbud. We have a lot of collection of books there. You can go to our library. Usually we have offline class in Dikbud, but right now because of the pandemic, we do it online. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to the announcement. So I will stop share the screen. Okay, guys. So do you know today's topic? Is there anyone here coming from Instagram, knowing today's program from Instagram? Anyone know today's topic from Instagram? How about Zarin? Zarin, hello.
Yes.
How do you know about today's class?
From my teachers, sir.
Oh, okay. Miss Indy, ya? Is it Miss Indy?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you, Miss Indy, for sharing about today's class. Okay. How about Mulyani?
Yes.
How do you know about today's class? Is it from Instagram?
Yes, from Instagram and
Very good.
YouTube. So every day I'm listening to the YouTube.
Ah, that's nice. That's very good. Stay tuned, yeah. Okay, good. So I know most of you knows from our Instagram, and I would suggest you to follow us. And also, I would like to encourage all of you to open your cam. So it's very nice to be able to see faces, right? Okay, so we can see each other, and we can know each other's better. Okay. So hi, Indy.
Hi, Kak Coco. It's nice to be here.
So Indy is not in Jakarta or even not in Indonesia. So Indy is currently in Sydney, Australia, right, Indy?
Yes, I'm currently in Sydney.
Okay, so I will have to check because it's still early in the evening. What time is it in Sydney?
It's currently 10 p.m. So
10 p.m.
there's
Okay.
a 3-hour difference.
Okay. I hope it doesn't pass your rest time. Yeah, still.
No,
10 at night.
it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, guys. Like I told you before that we have uh, topic for this August is about inspiring people. So in today's class, we are catering for younger audience. So actually, we invite Indy. Indy is very young. She is 18 years old, but she has a lot of achievement. And I guess we would like to listen to her about her story, how she ended up in Sydney right now, and maybe the struggle because it's pandemic, etc. The story will be much more interesting to listen. So, like you understand that during this pandemic, how you study, the way you study, it's a little bit different. You don't go offline classes, you go online classes, right, Indy?
Yes,
Yes.
but like right now, I'm taking offline classes because I'm here.
That's right. So it's a bit different. So we're going to know a bit better. I will not talk very long. I will not spoil it. So I will just give it to Indy. Indy, you can share your story with us.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so hello everyone. So I hope everyone's having a very good evening today. As you can see here in my laptop, it's 10 p.m. for me, so it's pretty late, but it's fine. So my name's Indy, and I'm very glad to be here with all of you today. So I'll be sharing some of my experiences with you guys, and as the title says, it will be around how I got from Jakarta to Sydney. So Sydney is a very popular destination of choice. Well, Australia is for many Indonesians who want to pursue their tertiary education here. So before we start this, and is anyone interested in studying in Australia or maybe working in Australia?
Me.
Zarin. Oh, you want to study in Australia?
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, how about, has anyone been to Australia? Like it could be for anything really, maybe a holiday?
Anyone? Anyone already been in Australia, maybe? Sydney?
I was there 3 years ago.
Oh,
Cindy. Yeah. Yes, of course. Thank you,
right,
Cindy.
okay. So before we get into like the more boring stuff, but it's not boring, let me introduce myself a little bit further. So my full name is Shafa Qalbin Adinindya, but you can call me Indy because no one really calls me Shafa outside of administration purposes. So I'm a current undergraduate student at the University of New South Wales, taking the Bachelor of Commerce program. And this is my first term here. So I literally just flew to Sydney in May. And I am a UniPrep UNSW Foundation Studies as well as UniPrep Junior College alumni. And I enjoy reading, writing, photography, and learning languages, which are all very normal hobbies. So from high school to university, I have involved myself in a lot of activities. And here are a few of my experiences and achievements. So in high school, I held several leadership positions. As you can see, I was the student council vice president. I was the head of comedy for a farewell event for my seniors. I was the leader for a charity fundraising project as well. And I was also once a MC for a Nobel Scholar speech competition. And for Pearson's Certificate of Excellence, it's about IGCSEs. So I took IGCSEs in high school and was able to achieve a grade 7 or above for 5 subjects. And in the foundation studies, I was the best student for the commerce stream with a GPA of 9.2 out of 10. I was the 3rd place for a challenge week photography competition, and I was the speaker and co-host for several Uni Saruguna online events. And currently, I am a member of one of my courses as student partners. And some of these experiences I will be talking in detail after this. So one of the experiences that I think supported my personal growth a lot is when I was the head of comedy for a farewell event. So my high school, usually you have like prom nights, right? So my high school had this tradition that passed from batch to batch where the underclassmen would have to arrange a farewell event for the upperclassmen. And because a lot of batches happened before us, we had that expectation to outdo themselves, or if we can't outperform them, at least be as good as them. So it was a lot of expectations. And I wanted it to be very new, something that the seniors had never seen before. And because of that, I had a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings between committee members. And through that, there was misunderstandings with seniors as well. So that led to me realizing that there's the trust between committee members is important, as it's not a one-man show and I can't possibly do anything, do everything myself. And after that, that was not the end of our problems. So during the execution of the farewell event, this was held in a resort somewhere in Bogor. I forgot the name, but it was, if you've been there, I think you would know where that is. And we had this game. So imagine a relay kind of game. So there would be like multiple mini games where you have to complete them and then you get something at the end of each mini game to for the final game. So there were cupcake wrappers, there were birthday candles, there were strings, and there were matches. And some of the materials, particularly the wrappers and the birthday candles, they were wrapped inside this Ziploc bag, and they were put inside like the pool, and they got wet, which wasn't part of our plan, but they got wet anyway, right? So we had to get spare materials from the room that we stayed in, which was about 10 minutes away from our place. But then the people who were in charge, they were not there. We couldn't contact them. We couldn't we didn't know where they were. And because of that, we panicked a lot. And because of that panic, I, as the leader, of course, I also panicked. But then I decided that instead of wasting more time to look for the missing PICs, I chose someone else to go get the materials, and we just went with the event, because if the evaluation happened during the event, it would have caused a lot of disruptions. Like imagine you're working on something and then someone goes nagging in your ear, you should have done this like this, like where were you? That wouldn't make the event go smooth. So from that, I learned that you should evaluate only when the event is done, and during it, you should only focus on the execution. So, and as a leader, you have to be able to improvise and work under pressure. And at the end, using the materials, which were cupcake wrappers, birthday candles, and matches. I don't know if you guys know the game, but imagine using a cupcake wrapper here, and then you put a birthday candle on top, and then you light a match with it. So you have to, so the seniors were broken down into smaller groups. And then we also had some teachers in the groups, and then they would have to carry that small birthday candle, a lit birthday candle, while the committee had water balloons, and we were throwing them with those water balloons. And if the candle goes off, they have to go back to the very beginning of the course and restart. So the main goal, the end goal, was that, as you can see here at the very back, there's a banner, a very suspicious looking banner. And at the beginning of the event, it was rolled up using a string. And the seniors didn't know what it was, but they only knew that they had to burn the string that was tying that banner up using the birthday candle that they were bringing. So after going to the banner and like they burned the string that was holding the banner up, the banner was revealed. And as you can see, this banner is very graphic design is my passion kind of thing. So it's not a very good looking banner, but it was done on purpose. So it looked a bit funny. Like they had meme faces of our seniors. So when they opened up the banner, they were like, ah, like they didn't expect it, which made the event very fun because they laughed because it was like a whole big prank. And so in the end, despite the many hurdles that we went through, we effectively succeeded in making the farewell fun. So yeah.
So it's a bit like a team building, team building activities, the games.
Yeah, the game was something like a team building thing because like the seniors and juniors, we don't really talk a lot. So through this, we made it enjoyable not only for the seniors but also the juniors.
And then you know each other's, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. Well, since you're in high school, right? Uni Prep Junior College. I
Yeah,
have
this is
special
in high school.
guest for you here, which is Miss Cindy. Hello,
Yeah.
Miss Cindy.
Hi. Hi, Indy. How are you?
Hi, Miss Cindy. So Miss Cindy was my English teacher back in high school. So it's very nice to see her again.
Okay, okay, so I don't want to spoil anything, but can you tell us a bit about Indy when she's in high school, Miss Indy?
Indy was actually one of my favorite because she is very reliable and she is actually my go-to student. So whenever I need MC, I need participants, I need candidates, the first name that I will always say is just pick Indy. I know at some point it's not fair for her other friends, but she's just my go-to student because I know that when I pick Indy, everything is just going to be all right, and then everything is going to be smooth. Even when she was in my class, she was always the top of the class. I will always use her works as the benchmark for her friends. So she always put high standards. So it was very hard for her friends to catch up with her.
So you always can count on her, Cindy,
Yeah.
Wow, that's very nice to hear. What do you think, Indy? What have you heard this before?
Yes, I've heard it before. Yeah.
Okay, so she really count on you, and maybe this is why you're being chosen as head of the committee for the farewell event, right?
Maybe. But me doing well in English is because like I've always enjoyed learning the language. So that was why I put in a lot of effort in my study.
It shows really shows in your.
Thank you so much, Miss Cindy, for attending today's class and to be our guest, special guest, surprise for Indy today. Okay, Indy, continue.
Okay, so the next thing that I went through in high school was that I was the vice president of the student council. And again, I had to work with others, and being in an organization and whatnot, there were bound to be differences between people. So what the key thing to do was that I acknowledged individual strengths and weaknesses, and basically not everyone can do everything themselves. So one of the events that we had as at student council was that we celebrated International Women's Day, as you can see here. So what this was that it was a poster that was drawn by two of our UJC students. And then we had these name cards, like we had 14 of them. And these name cards basically had inspirational women all throughout history. 7 of them are from outside of Indonesia and 7 of them were Indonesians, to show like, hey, women all around the world are cool. They're very inspirational, and even Indonesians can do it too. So during this brainstorming part, we had a lot of clashes because, for one, we didn't know how to make the poster, because none of us were very artistic in the sense that we couldn't draw. So we had to depend on other people, as in two of our other batchmates, to make this poster. And then there was also the issue with the idea that the poster would be framed by a white manila paper. And then in that little frame, we would provide sticky notes, like colorful sticky notes, for people to be able to write down their thoughts about International Women's Day.
Mhm.
And it could be about the people they look up to who are women. It could be their mom, it could be a teacher, it could be anyone, it could be themselves if they were women. And the conflict was that my idea was to provide the sticky notes on a table somewhere near the poster, but then another member of the student council said that, no, that's not possible because our poster was located in the middle of the hallway. So it was hard to access and it would just be blocking the way if we provided a table there. So when your ideas get rejected, it feels kind of bad. But then after discussing with other student council members, I realized, oh yeah, sometimes you don't really have the good idea for everything, and sometimes other people have better ideas. So that doesn't mean that, like, oh no, okay, I'm not going to include myself in this discussion anymore because my idea got rejected. No, but basically, if you just keep your mind closed, you're not going to be able to achieve the best possible result for your project. And this was just one of the many projects we worked on, but it was an important one because it was one of the projects we did before COVID hit. So after COVID hit, we couldn't do a lot of things, but this was one of the ones we did before that. And then another thing that I realized was that it's important to like really know what you discussed like every time you have a meeting, because what if you want to, talk about something you discussed last week, but then you don't even remember what you discussed that week, which is why it's very important to have minutes of meeting. And it's also really, really important to evaluate and resolve team problems. For example, like this thing, we evaluated the event, like what went good and what went wrong. The good thing was that before us, none of the student councils of the previous batches had celebrated International Women's Day, which was good because we were introducing something new to the school. But then something we could have done better was that since the manila paper frame was very thin, it didn't really stand out much. So we could have used a styrofoam instead.
So in here, you're the vice president of student council, yeah, at that time.
Yes, I was the vice president.
So a Women's Day is only one of the events, right?
Yes, it's just one of the events.
Okay, it's very nice, especially the graphic design. Did you make it?
Yeah, for the name cards, I was the one in charge of it, but for the poster, no, I can't draw. So two of my friends.
Yeah, but it's very nice.
Thank you.
Yes. Go on.
Okay, so another thing that I went through in high school was IGCSEs. So they're basically international exams using standardized exams. And it was a very hard thing to do because of COVID in March 2020, the subject, I took the commerce subjects in high school because that was my stream, and that disrupted the IGCSE schedule. So my IGCSEs were supposed to be in January of 2021, but because of COVID, it became November. So I lost literally 3 months of learning time. And my clear target from the very beginning of me entering high school was that I would be able to gain grade 9 or A star for all of my subjects.
Wow.
And I lost 3 months of studying. so
But you lost 3 months study, but you got very
Yeah.
good grade. Very good.
Yeah. So I think setting a clear target is very important, because then you would know, even like you losing a lot of time while studying, you would still know like how much more hours you have to put in. But then it's hard to achieve my goal. It's really hard to achieve, but it kept me motivated in studying because I knew the specific result I wanted. And it wasn't just merely like, I want to do well, because that's not specific enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because I lost those 3 months, I decided not to take accounting IGCSEs, which like in a normal situation, I would have had to, because we lost 3 months. So me choosing to give up like one accounting IGCSE was because I considered my abilities and limits, because it was mentally too stressful, especially when we were learning things online, because you don't really get how to do accounting if like written, because IGCSE everything is written. You don't really get how to do it if you're doing everything online. So because of that, I felt like, no, I'm not taking this, or I'm going to risk not doing well in my other subjects, because I remember achieving considerably low results for one English assignment. I don't know if Miss Indy remembers it, but it was because I was too drained and burnt out. So this is why I think it's very, very important to allocate enough leisure time so you don't just work or study, because your brain needs to rest, So it's a very important thing that I think a lot of people still overlook, because sometimes people think that when they're not studying or when they're not being productive, they think this is useless, like I'm wasting my time. But no, because by playing games or sleeping, eating anything at like you're not doing anything. Sometimes not doing anything is actually good.
It's healing, yeah.
Yeah,
It's healing time, yeah.
Yes, it's healing
time.
It's very important. I think like during my IGCSE exam period, I was using social media a lot, and I played games, and I earned grade 9 for my subject. So don't worry, you need it.
So I think after this they will ask questions. Yeah, the Britzoners will ask question. How can you do play games and you have 3 months fall behind, but you still get straight A? How you do it?
Well, I think the important part is that you should be able to find a study method that suits you, because for me, I learn well if I take notes. Like I make those pretty notes with all the brush pens and the sticky notes, but then that method may not be suitable for everyone, because studying isn't like a one size fits all kind of thing. Because some people learn better with cue cards, some people learn better with YouTube videos, some people learn better with having a small study group, like right now. So if one study method doesn't suit you, don't really force it, because then you're not going to learn. But once you do have a study method that fits you, studying will feel less like a chore and more enjoyable.
Is your teacher at your school require you to take notes, like literally take notes? Because I know that nowadays kids are not really taking notes in class.
Yeah, no, they don't require us to take notes, but I took notes because
Oh, that's nice. That's very good. I think that would be very good tips for others, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're proactive, it's going to get you a long way. Like you have a goal, you set your own goal, and no one's going to achieve that goal for you. So you have to take the steps to achieve that goal.
Okay, I guess that's the tips, yeah. how you get
Yeah.
a good grade, straight A, although despite of anything happen because you take notes, right?
Yeah. And the thing with like exams or like doing anything that's important in your life really is that you can get easily nervous about them. So like even before they take place, like sometimes we think like, what if I can't do it? What if I fail? It's like more than just easy to let a million what if scenarios run inside your head and like haunt you and control you. And what I've learned is that if you actually keep on repeating like, what if I fail? What if I can't do this? Like you will actually you'll actually fail, because it's something like you're hypnotizing yourself, like you're convincing yourself that you really can't do it. But then if you turn it into something like, I can do it, I'll be able to do it, you will actually be able to do it. And this is actually backed up like by a lot of studies. So this is why it's important to believe in yourself, because people who believe in themselves tend to perform better. But then it's also important not to be overconfident, or you're going to like underestimate your challenges because you're not paying attention to detail. So the thing with online classes is that it's very, very, very easy to be lazy, to be unmotivated, and to think like other people aren't being active anyway, why should I be active, right? Because I went through that too, and half of my high school was online. So it was and my foundation studies was also completely online. Even my graduation was online. So it was a very
it's something new.
Yeah. So how I got through it was that, was I stressed? Of course. I think when COVID first hit, my grades really dropped because I really didn't like the online kind of meeting. Because as I said before, it gets you lazy, gets you demotivated. But then what got me motivated was that I remembered my goal, that achieving grade 9 for all of my subjects. And then, well, no one's going to achieve it for you, right? You have to keep on trying even when you're faced with like adverse situations that make you not want to try. So ask questions, involve yourself in discussions. And discussions are like very important, even though sometimes they feel like they aren't, like you're just talking and talking. But discussions help you gain a more in-depth knowledge on the topic at hand. So like you don't underestimate discussions, even if they're online. So another important thing is that you should acknowledge your emotions as they are, because I cried while learning for IGCSEs because I felt like I couldn't.
What happened?
I cried because it was very hard. Studying for it was very hard. But then if you're putting stress on yourself, like, no, I shouldn't cry because other people have it hard too, but no, you shouldn't do that. So you can get stressed, you can get tired, you can cry. And if you're tired, acknowledge that you're tired and allow yourself to rest. Like I said, it's very important to keep on checking up on yourself, like how you're doing mentally. Because if you're not stable mentally, then you can't really do a lot of things. Like it sets you back, it holds you back. And the thing is that a lot of people tend to compare themselves with other people, right? That's what gets us feeling very demotivated, gets us very down. And what I want like everyone to know is that everyone's different. Like standards of success, capabilities, struggles, strengths, everyone's different. So if you have to compare, you should just compare yourself with the past version of yourself. Like, are you doing better than before? Like sometimes we think we aren't doing well enough because of this tendency to constantly compare ourselves with others. But when we compare ourselves with our past selves, we can realize that, hey, past me never thought that I'd reach this far before, but here I am now. Like, I'm cool, I'm great, and I should give myself a pat on the back. That was what I realized. And after doing all these tips, I was able to achieve my goal, which was grade 9 or A star for all my IGCSE subjects. And applying the same techniques, I was able to graduate as the best student of UniPrep's E2 2021 Commerce stream. And I received UNSW's Global Academic Award.
Wow, congratulations,
because of
Indy.
it. Thank you.
So actually, this is done in when you're in Sydney already, right?
Yeah, I'm in Sydney right now.
But you're in Sydney, but actually you do online class, or
The
you do
foundation was in Jakarta.
oh in Jakarta. Okay, so
Yes.
the foundation in Jakarta. So you do this in Jakarta, right?
Yes, I did this all in
Okay.
Jakarta.
Okay, get it.
And the foundation was actually even crazier than IGCSEs. I felt like I was going to go completely crazy at least 20 times because
Mhm.
it was apparently I enrolled myself in the intensive intake, which I didn't know of, but because of that intensive intake, I studied
Mhm.
an 8 months worth of subjects and information into just 6.5 months, and there was no break at all. So
I
it was
see.
very
Wow.
stressful, and it was
So
all
in,
online.
so intense, yeah. Oh, okay. So to make clear to the audience, so this is actually what is uh the this is the abbreviation of IGCSES. It's the short of for what? Abbreviation for what?
So IGCSE is, hold on. So IGCSE is an International and General Certificate of Secondary Education.
Oh, okay. So you need to pass this in order to go to the college
Foundation. Yeah.
in
So in
Sydney.
order to enter the UniPrep Foundation, I had to have a grade of B, or I think 6
Mhm.
for 5 subjects.
I see. Okay, maybe
And
this is for the younger audience, so they know what to do because you give a lot of tips for this. This is sounds very important step in uh, going to college to Australia. Yeah.
the IGCSEs here, the Pearson one, the Edexcel one is similar to that, like Cambridge. It's just different.
Cambridge. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something similar like that.
Okay.
So another thing is that right now I'm working as a student partner for one of my university courses, which is one of the one of the main courses that you have to take in your first year, and it's a stats course. So it's and this student partners program basically aims to provide an opportunity that empowers students and staff to collaborate as equal partners and mutual learners. So I work with several other students who were chosen in this
Mhm.
program and the teaching team. So like my lecturers, the course coordinator, to clarify misunderstandings and make the overall student experience better for the course. So basically, since it's sort of like an organization or like a program, so I had to write a personal statement. And when you're writing your personal statement, you have to clearly know your strengths. And for mine, my strengths was that I liked helping people because I liked learning. And I also have a lot of experience in working together with people. And another thing is you shouldn't apply for like something rashly, because for student partners, because I'm very concerned with learning and education, it's very important to me. It's something I'm passionate about. But if it's not something for you, then I suggest don't just apply for it randomly, because then that's going to affect your performance in the program. So to be able to perform well, you would have to have a desire to gain new experiences, proactive and helping others, and self-development. And another thing is you shouldn't be afraid to voice out your opinions or concerns, because what I noticed was that the people here, they're very very open with discussions, but it's not something that a lot of us in Indonesia are used with.
Oh, okay. So, well, so people in Australia, especially in Sydney, students especially, they like to discuss a lot, yeah.
Yes, a lot. Like
A lot
even
more
without,
than in Indonesia. You experience
yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because even in Indonesia, I consider myself as someone who discusses a lot, but then when I was put in this new environment, it was like I didn't know what to say. They were just that active. But again, you shouldn't be afraid to voice out your opinions or concerns because other people are doing that too. So don't like make yourself into a shell, and then be collaborative. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I guess
yeah.
that's another tip from you, yeah, that if you want to study abroad, especially in Australia, be more active, especially in discussion, yeah.
Yes. So
Okay. So this is like the part that I told everyone that everyone would be very exciting about. You're going to share about Sydney, right? About the
yes.
city.
So
Can you tell us?
these are all pictures that I took. I don't have my camera with me, so they're kind of not that good. But basically here the first is my campus. It's UNSW, and it has a very modern architecture kind of style, but it's not too modern. So like if you go to the University of Sydney, it has a more old kind of vibe because it's actually the oldest university in Sydney, but UNSW is like one of the younger ones, but they're still kind of old. So, and then as you can see, the sky is very pretty. It gets very blue like every day. So when you go out um, you go out of your house, the sky is very pretty.
Is
And
it
the
like in the
thing,
middle of the city, in the middle of Sydney, or it's like in the suburb?
oh no, it's in the suburb. If you
Oh,
go to the, if you go more to the city, like here, these are
mhm.
pictures of the opera house. And like this was back in, I think June or July, where there was a uh, festival. It was called Vivid, where basically they had like this light show around the opera house and like
Mhm.
the Sydney Harbor, Darling Harbor, and like there was a lot of like animations, a lot of light shows. It was very cool. And there was also this one drink, like where I still have the bottle. It was basically a boba, but like if you have something inside it, it will light up. So it was a cool experience. Um, but
Are those special food at the bottom, or your favorite food in Sydney?
okay, so I was going to say,
I can see ayam goreng. What is that? Really Indonesian food there?
yes, these are all Indonesian food in Sydney. So the biggest fear that I had when I was going to Sydney was that I wouldn't be able to find Indonesian food because I have a very picky tongue. So if I don't eat something I'm familiar with, I might, yeah, I'm not going to enjoy it. But then turns out, and around UNSW, there are a lot of um, Indonesian restaurants. And there are also a lot of Asian supermarkets. And I think the most important thing that you need to find when you're going abroad is an Asian supermarket because they're going to have a lot of the items that you're going to buy. For example, Asian rice, um, sambal ABC.
Sambal
And
ABC. Oh my.
yeah, I buy it every week. So
Okay, so actually in Australia, you can find Indonesian food and also like even like the supermarket for that, right?
yes.
Yes. Okay. I think it's a good information for everyone who would like to go to a study in Sydney. So don't worry, guys. You will not have problem to eat Indonesian food. Yeah.
And for like the Muslims, there are actually like mosques here. There's one nearby my campus, and
That's
the
nice.
people are very friendly here. So like
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
very
really
nice.
feel out of place because it's a very there are very different people here. Like there are people from China, there are people from Mongolia, there are people from Malaysia. Like a lot of countries are here, but then it's fine. Like
Mhm.
we're different, but it's fine.
Wow, it sounds fun, and I hope you keep having fun there while studying. Thank you so much for sharing. This is like the last slide, right?
Yeah, before the focus discussion questions.
Before the focus group discussion. Okay, guys, I know you're not being patient to be in the focus group discussion because it's going to be fun. But we have Q&A session. I know that some of you have some questions. You can raise your hand. Kadika, how many questions can we have today? One, two, oh, five. Oh, okay. Five. Okay. That's good. So we have a lot of slots. Okay, so guys, while you're thinking about the question, you can raise your hand, but after this, yeah, I will take picture first. Okay, I will take picture first before we go to question and answer, and then later to forum group discussion. Okay, so Beverly, the host, uh, would you help to take pictures first? And
Sure.
everyone, please open your cam. I want to see your smile. All of you, come on. Okay, we'll take pictures together.
Sorry, Indy, could you please stop share screen?
Okay.
Yes, Indy, would you stop sketcher? Okay, great.
All right, I'm sorry for the wasted place first. You are lagging, Beth.
It's lagging, Beth.
So, so maybe I will take picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
One,
maybe
two,
let's
Sophie.
make
three,
it soft.
check. So I will. Hello. Okay, so I will take picture. Then there are two slides in here. So, okay,
Thank you, Sophia.
Mutiara, do you want to turn on your cam?
Yeah, Echa also.
Sorry,
Echa?
do it at the moment.
Okay, it's okay. It's all right. Okay, please don't chat. So I'm afraid that your face will be covered because your chat. Okay. Okay, so nobody's chatting. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Wait. Okay. Second slide. One, two, three. Okay. Back to you,
Thank you,
Kakapa.
Sophia.
Okay, my pleasure.
Okay, since we have 5 slots, 5 person who can ask questions. Anyone would like to ask question? Okay, Denny. Who else? Denny Mutiara. Okay, let's go. Denny first. What's your question?
Now I'm here.
Okay, Denny. What's your question, Denny?
So I have a good question. So what strategy ever if you had achievements for the certificate, for the
Which certificate?
certificate, all the strategy. What
Oh,
strategy?
the strategy. Very good question. Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Danny. Very good question, Danny. So, Indy, Danny is asking about the strategy for your achievement. Maybe you can like share some tips, like pointers for him. I think it's
Okay,
very good
so
questions.
yeah, thank you for your question, Denny. So the certificate that I got was for achieving well on my IGCSEs, and to be able to achieve that certificate, I had to set a clear goal of getting a grade 9 for my IGCSEs, although the certificate says it's a grade 7 at least, but for me personally, I wanted grade 9. So by setting a clear goal and setting like an action plan on how to achieve that goal, I think that would like really help a lot, because then you would be able to keep track of your progress, like how close you are to your goal. For example, do you still not understand this part yet? Do you still not are you still struggling with this, or have you finished with this? And with IGCSEs, it helps a lot with doing past papers. So the more practice you have, the more you understand the thing that you're going to be examined on.
So it's practice, yeah? The keyword is practice, yeah? The strategy.
The word is practice.
Thank you, Indy. Hope that answer your question. Yeah, Denny, thank you for your question. It's very good questions. Next, Mutiara. Mutiara, are you
Hi.
there? Hi. Why you don't show your video?
There's a thing that I cannot turn on my.
Okay. It's okay. I just tease you. It's okay. You can ask questions to Indy.
Okay. Yes, Indy. Could you name 3 fascinating facts about Australian students that, based on your observations? Thank you.
Wow. Very good question from Mutiara. Straightforward. 3 specific things. Okay, Indy.
And okay, so one interesting thing I found was that they're very tall and I'm very small. My height is only like about 160 centimeters, and then a lot of these Australian university students, they're very tall. Like even when I go to like my campus, there sometimes I see like high schoolers pass me by, and sometimes they're taller or bigger than me, and I'm just like, okay. I feel very small. And then the second thing I find interesting is that they have this very nice tendency to always say thank you. Like even like for the smallest things, they say thank you. For example, I don't know. It's just it's very nice to see. Thank you. Sorry. They say it very, very often. Like not
they're
just
very polite, yeah, India. They're very polite.
They're very polite. And then a third thing I find interesting is that because when you're an international student, you meet a lot of like other international students. So I don't really meet a no. This thing I find interesting is that they somehow know each other. Like they're somehow linked to each other. I think it's like if we're in Indonesia and then somehow you meet someone from another school who is friends with your friend, and then you meet someone who's friends with your neighbor, for example, something like that. So they somehow all know each other. So I find that very
okay. Wow. So you actually can be very familiar with your like neighbor and friends and say hi like that.
Yeah. I think it's because they're very nice, they're very friendly. So
that's nice. Mutiara, I hope that answer your question. Okay, thank you so much for the question. It's very good one. And then we have Yin. Yin. Okay, what's your question?
Okay. Can you hear me clearly? Guys?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just curious about your dreams. Could you please tell us why you choose Sydney and why you choose the University of New South Wales? Because we know that the last student or the what is it then? The last student, like 12th graders, we have so many options to choose or to apply to the university, and why to make you sure about this kind of place and also the university itself. Thank you.
Very good question, Yin. So why you choose Sydney and also the university?
Okay, so firstly, why I chose Sydney is because when I'm studying, I want a very supportive environment, because sometimes if you go abroad, you don't really get that supportive environment. Like, I don't want a kind of environment that you have to study until you drop, like literally no leisure time at all. Because a lot of Asian countries, they have that kind of vibe. Like, for example, Korea, Singapore, they have that kind of vibe. But Sydney and Australia is a bit more slow, but it's not slow, but it's more it's suitable for me. And the people are very nice, they're very accepting of differences, because they're used to having Asian people, they're used to having a lot of different people. So and there are like Muslims, a lot of Muslims here, so I don't feel like out of place. Because if I'm studying here and then I feel out of place, that's going to affect my studies, right? And then why I chose this university specifically is because they are one of the leading universities in terms of business, and they're ranked among like the top 50 in the world. And like in Australia, they have a very good graduate employability. So I wanted I was curious to like why exactly are they ranked so high. And then they have like specific programs that are unique to their university that you won't get in other universities. And I was also interested in like studying commerce in another country, because then I could use that knowledge that works in a country that's much more developed, and then I could bring that knowledge in for Indonesia. So it's something like that. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Indy, for sharing. Hope that answered your question, Yin. It's very good questions. Thank you. Yeah. And then we have next Yasrin. Yasrin, what's your questions?
Oh, sorry. My name.
Oops.
Okay, actually, I hope the question is not answered before for the Kak Ian question, yeah, because maybe I want to your what is it motivation sentence about our maybe me, yeah, my classmate when we want to go abroad, but we think about how to be adapted with the new environment, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Sydney, Australia has their own what is it accent, right? It's not like American or British, but it's really hard to understand their I was trying so hard to understand them, but yeah, I want to know what is your struggle when you are in Australia in the first time, about maybe for a language or something else.
Very good question, Yasrin. Indy?
Thank you for your question. So for the language, I didn't really struggle with it, but then when people are talking with like really thick accents, it's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard to understand. And sometimes they talk really quickly. So sometimes I have to ask them like, sorry, could you repeat what you said? So there was that struggle, but like the more you listen to them talking, I think it's the easier you get used to their accent. And I find that like Australian accents are actually like much easier to listen to compared to British, but that could be different from person to person. So I hope
Okay.
that answers your question.
Okay, I thought you're
Agree.
going to say something else. Okay. Well, well, I hope that answered your question, Yasrin. Well, you have to just get used to it and talk a lot, yeah. Communicate a lot with them, and do not hang out with another Indonesian.
Yeah, I think that's very crucial, because if you're going to hang out with other Indonesians, you're going to use Indonesian.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
you're not going to
Thank
improve
you.
on your English.
Thank you, Indy, for sharing. Thank you for the question, Yasrin. It's a very good one. Do we still have time? I think we don't have time. Can we go to the room, Kak Dika? It's for question. Oh, okay, good, good. Thank you. So, guys, so this is time for FGD. Before I start, I would like to introduce you. We have Kak Sofia, Kak Yiyin, Kak Nona, Kak Amanda, Kak Novi, Kak Asif, and Kak Yasrin. Thank you so much to be our volunteer today. And guys, enjoy your time with your facilitator. Okay, see you. Okay. So is Novi? Oh, no, Novi is supposed to be Fasil, right? Yes.
We should be a facilitator.
Yes. Okay, we have Kadika here also. Behind Britzone is actually Beverly. So Kadika, maybe you have a question for Indy or something to say to Indy.
All right. As you stated before, please make a distance with fellow Indonesians when you go abroad, when you study abroad. Oh yeah, at least when you were abroad, yeah. Yeah, please make a distance with the people with the common nationality. And what do you do to, yeah, to make a distance, yeah, to get further with fellow Indonesians?
Actually, it's I'm staying at a flat right now, and like everyone living here is actually Indonesian. So there's like 5 people in total, and like we're all Indonesians. So so it's like staying at a
So
flat in Jakarta.
are you always hang out with them?
No, because we all have different
Subjects,
programs
programs.
and different classes, and some of them are actually not attending UNSW, so they're attending like UCID and other universities. But basically, like at least in my classes, I haven't seen a lot of like Indonesian people actually. So a lot of them are like if they're foreign, they're usually from China, mainland China, and if they're not, they're usually locals. So I don't think you have to make a lot of effort to distance yourself with Indonesians, because you're going to meet a lot of non-Indonesians anyway.
I see.
I see.
I see. So I remember several friends. I hope that answered the questions, Kadika. Your hope answer your questions. Yeah. I remember something when I was like in the States, like a couple of friends of mine. When they're back home, it's like they don't speak English very good. Even they don't like speak thick American, but they're like really awkward speaking English. And then we find out, we try to find out what happened. So what happened is like students like in California, etc. In California, there are a lot of Indonesian. So what happened is, what do you do there? Oh, I hang out every day with Indonesian. So every day they speak Indonesian. So that's what happened. So their English are not getting better. I think that's the uh, what do you call it? Yeah, the
The
side effect,
problem.
side effect.
Oh,
Yeah. So I guess maybe only 5 in your place with different programs, so you don't meet them every time. So
yeah,
you hang out with more native, like native Australian, right?
yeah. Or
Okay.
like other international students, but we don't share a language. Like for example, I have a friend from Germany, so I converse with him, of course, in English because I can't speak German.
Oh, okay. Okay. Beverly, are you there? Oh, Beverly is not. Stay tuned. Kadika,
Yes.
any other questions for Indy?
All right. Because Australia is one of the best destination for studying. Yeah. All students all around the world are going there. Shafa, have you met fellow immigrant students from other countries, of course not locally Australian, who are not fluent to speak English?
Yes, actually, a lot of these international students from China mainland, from mainland China especially, they are not really that fluent in English, but which is why when you're going here, they usually have like conversation classes specifically for international students who are struggling to converse in English. And in one of my classes, I take them with 2 of these Chinese students, and one of them, their English is pretty good, but then another one is like he barely talks in English, and then when he does, it's his accent is very thick. So yeah, there are even people enrolled in an Australian university, but they are still struggling with English, which I think would be very hard actually, because the terms that they use in university are way harder than conversational terms, but I think they are managing.
How can that happen? Because the requirement is tight, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's right.
That is actually confusing to me too, but maybe because Australia and China, like I think about more than 30% of like international students in Australia are actually from China. So there's like, maybe they just need to land a low minimum in English to like be enrolled. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So,
but they do have like the effort to learn English. So,
well, how about, I know that you, when you were in Indonesia, when you study in Uniprep junior college, your school is totally conducted in English, right? I know that from Miss Cindy.
yes.
So is there bring you benefit when the first time you arrive in Sydney? Because I know the first problem when you're in different countries with different language is like, although you learn the language, but like trying to understand when you're just in front of the people and then start to communicating, like did you find it hard to understand at that moment? or what you have done in Indonesia because of the school, etc., it already prepared you better?
I think because of what I've done in Indonesia, it really prepared me better because I got more used, especially like in the foundation studies. I think she was an Australian teacher, so I was used to the accent, and like the videos that they used, they were all Australian videos. But a thing that I struggled with, and I think like a lot of other international students struggled with, is that when you're trying to talk, sometimes your brain short circuits. So you're trying to say something in English, but then what comes out of your mouth is in Indonesian. So,
Yes.
and then when like with my German friend, sometimes Indonesian just pops out, and then he also doesn't know a certain German word in English. So there's this mutual understanding that we're struggling with translating the words in our brain.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Maybe at the beginning when you arrive in like a strange country, yeah, you actually still think in your origin language, right? And then you
Yes.
translate it, and then you open your mouth and say something. So it's like several steps. So it's like there is a delay for that, right? But I
Yes.
believe that you already there for like 3 months. No, how many months? May, June,
I
July,
think
August,
two and a half.
2.5. So is it better? Have you dreamt in English?
No, I dream in Indonesian, but yeah, I think it's getting better. And like sometimes um I have this kind of accent, but then it just pops out like randomly. I cannot control it. So because you get used to hearing the accent, so then you
Yes.
get influenced as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, I'm happy for you that, well, actually I don't know that I did not realize that you just actually arrived in May. I thought you already like stayed there for like a year because you speak very fluently. And I know because in your English teacher in Jakarta is also speak very good English. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
It's because like from a very young age I've been speaking English. I was like my entire life I've been attending like international schools, and I enjoy reading a lot. And the things that I usually read are like classic books. Maybe that's why.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it helps, yeah, by reading to for your English capability, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. Well, that's a good tips for everyone. For you who's actually now watching in YouTube, I would like to say hi to our friends in YouTube. I know that some people are stay tuned through YouTube. They don't attend through Zoom, but maybe they watch through YouTube. You can say something in your comment columns, or you can ask questions. Our host will try to check and then pass the question to us. Okay, so since maybe Kak Dika and Beverly is still busy taking care of the breakout rooms, we have 7 minutes left. Actually, I know that they're enjoying the session because I can see your FGD question is quite intriguing.
Yeah.
They must be have a lot of discussion. So, okay, this is like a very corny questions. Have you missed home yet?
The when I actually flew here alone. Like I was supposed to fly in with my mom, but then with the
Uh-huh.
visa problem, so I had to fly in by myself. And then when I actually flew on, I cried in the plane. And then on the
Ah,
first night, I
I
also
can
cried.
I can totally feel you. I can totally feel you. The flight to strange country alone, yeah, it's
Yeah,
intimidating, right?
yes.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
crying, and then I think the person beside me was like staring at me. Why is she crying?
So
So
actually, this is like already past two or around 3 months. So
mhm.
how do you cope with that? Because when you arrive alone, and then you might be afraid, or you might be like uh wondering what to do, trying to figure out things. But after 2 and 3 months, how how it goes for you?
So fortunately, the flat that I'm staying at right now is owned by an Indonesian family. So when I arrived, they actually helped me like get to know like, hey, this is the supermarket that you can frequent because it sells like Asian stuff, and then the big supermarket here is called Westfield, and then it's where you can shop for all your needs. So because of those tips, like I was able to get by, and then um, the
Mm-hmm.
the worst part was actually just like the first week. I think that was like the hardest thing because
Mm-hmm.
that was when I was really adjusting. But then after that, it just felt normal. Like
So
this
you
is
feel
my
home
first
already,
time.
yeah?
Yeah,
You feel
this
home
is my
already.
this is my first time flying alone and then living alone. But then I think it's because there are a lot of Indonesians here, and then a lot of like Indonesian food, a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very not hard to
Mm-hmm.
adjust because they have a very good transportation system, and it's not very hard to understand. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah.
That's good. I'm happy hearing that you actually, after this is very short time, and you really you really calm, like you've been there like for like years. Like okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, so okay, nowadays, because I know that you're posting your time, your moments in Sydney. I know that some of your friends may be
Mhm.
still back in Jakarta or in Indonesia. What is mostly their comments?
Like when they see me posting about Sydney.
Yes, like what comments do you usually see from them?
Well, from them, some of them are like, wait for me to go there in this
Ah.
month or like by the end of the month. And then like, if I see them already posting about Sydney, when did you arrive? Because the funny thing is like, um, people who I've not met in a long time, as in like people I attended junior high school with, somehow they ended up in Australia as well. So when I
Oh,
see
oh,
them,
okay, okay.
when I see them
Wow.
posting, I was like, "Oh, you're in Melbourne."
Oh, but
Yeah,
different
different
state,
city,
different city, yeah,
different
different city,
different state, different city.
different state, different city. Oh,
But
okay.
usually it's either Sydney or Melbourne. A very famous, very famous places for Indonesians to study.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is also another questions. I know that Indonesian, when they go like to the States or to UK or to Australia, they're always like favorite cities they will go. Right? So how about Australia? Is it Sydney? Other than Sydney, is there any other favorite cities they usually go to
I
school? I
think,
mean,
oh, it's a school. For school, I
yes.
think it's Melbourne because in Australia they have something called like the Group of Eight universities, which are basically their top eight leading universities,
Mm-hmm.
including UNSW. Like there's University of Sydney, there's
Mm-hmm.
University of Melbourne, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, those eight top universities are usually either in the New South Wales or Sydney or in Victoria, Melbourne. So those two places are the most sought out cities and states for Indonesians.
Ah, okay. I guess for those who's listening, maybe this is like a reference. If you're like confused which city to choose or which university to choose if you want to go to Australia, that would be a good tips. Kadika, do you have any other question for Indy? Uh, well, for your information, Kadika is currently in Bali,
Oh,
not in Jakarta. So actually, this is like the wonder of doing classes through Zoom. It can be like you can be in Sydney and I can be in Jakarta, and Kadika is in Bali. Before the pandemic, we cannot do that. We cannot do this. Even we cannot invite you because we always offline classes. So this is like the I know that not everyone loves the pandemic, but there's always a silver lining for this. So actually we can do this. This is never done before. Like you're in Sydney, I'm in Jakarta, and Kadika is in Bali. So Kadika, you have a question for Indy? I just asked about favorite cities for Indonesian when they go to school to Australia. Maybe you have other questions.
In Sydney, because my aunties and my uncles are living there too, and they have been citizen already. Yeah, and how easy to find the Indonesian town in city or Indonesian region in Sydney? How easy?
how easy? I think if you just like go on Google Maps and then like search ayam goreng, and then you're going to you're going to find so many what is it called, restaurants with those, and then so that area would be filled with Indonesians. Like you go inside a restaurant and they're going to be like, oh, there's actually this one restaurant nearby, and when you enter they literally play old Indonesian songs, so you don't feel like you're in Sydney, but you feel like you're somewhere in like Jakarta. And the style is very Indonesian as well. So the trick to not get homesick is basically to go to Indonesian restaurants.
Yeah, that's a very good tip. So is there any like Indonesian quarter in Sydney, like where the restaurant is or where the Indonesian permanent residents stay? Is it anything like that in Sydney?
I haven't been to like a lot of the suburbs in Sydney to know that, but like in my suburb in near UNSW, there's a lot of Indonesian restaurants, Indonesian people. So if you go around there, you could listen to an Ari Lasso song inside the restaurant.
Okay. Well, guys, so everyone is coming back to the main room. So how was the FGD session?
We need more time.
Oh, more time as
We had
usual.
a little alt insights shared there.
I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And I know the first time when you join the main room, you hear ayam goreng. Wow, such a coincidence. I hope you all already had dinner. But I'm happy that all of you having good time with your facilitator. So I would like to ask Zarin, who's your facilitator?
Kak Novi.
Kak Novi. So how was the session?
It was really fun. I had a
really
lot of fun sharing my thoughts.
You enjoy it?
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so I will not ask any more question, or there is no representative because I know you already done it in the facilitate with your facilitator in FGD room. Okay. So actually, this would be the end of our meeting, but don't go because I will ask a closing statement from Indy. to wrap up our class today. Indy, would you please give our to our audience today your closing statement?
Thank you everyone for listening to my sharing session, and I think I wish good luck for everyone doing whatever you guys want in your life. And I think the most important thing is to have that motivation in mind that you would want to become someone that your past self could be proud of. And thank you. Yeah, just thank you for being here. And I'm very glad to be here.
Well, thank you, Indy. Thank you so much. I know your effort to be here today and prepare all of the presentation for sharing. We really appreciate it. It's very beautiful sharing, and we're looking forward and hope you success in your study in Sydney. Okay, and enjoy. Okay. So everyone, thank you so much for joining today's class. Don't forget we have tomorrow and also Saturday. You can also join other classes. Okay. Join us next week. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Britzoners. Thank you, Indy.
Thank you, Kak
Thank you,
Adinindya.
guys.
Thank you,
Guys,
everyone.
bye.